I feel like I'm reading like something out of like GDPR. Seriously, it's just like 2 and 3.
All right. So anybody put a star by 1A? 1 person, 1B, nope. 1C, 1 person, 1D, 1 person, 1E, 1 person, 2A, 3 people.
You can put me down for that.
Okay, so 4 people actually, and then 2B.
I like to be.
2, so 3 of you guys, and then 2C, 1 person. 2D.
I like to be too.
Yeah, I like to do 2 as well, yeah.
2 people. Okay. And then 3A. Nobody. 3B. 1 person. 4A.
Yes.
3 people. And 4B. 2 people. Okay. So let's start with the A statements. Really just getting a 1 here and there. So talk to me about those statements in general. Are the 1 sub-bullets compelling at all?
I like the fact what makes it is having like multiple layers of security. Depending on where at the firewall level or at somewhere in the network level, the virtual level. I mean, I think that's important for us, though. So especially if you're a CISO. So yeah, for threat and intrusion detection, threat.
Yeah.
I think C's pretty nice because it mentions the independently verified standards. It's not just them saying that they're secure. It's a third party coming in and verifying it.
Anything else under the set of number 1 statements that really jumped out at you guys?
I mean, for us, I put D just because we have financial information, and if we have that in the cloud, like banking numbers and routing numbers and things of that nature, then that's important for us to keep that secure.
Okay.
The part I liked about E was that it encouraged testing, scanning, and API security features. So it encouraged people to take a proactive approach to security instead of a reactive approach, which was my problem with some of the other ones earlier.
Okay, so proactive. And then under the number 2 statements, A and B were the ones that the most people said were compelling. So talk me through 2A. Why is that one compelling for a lot of you guys?
I would say I've worked at a company that was almost caught out of compliance for GDPR. And, like a month before the laws were enacted, they're like, oh no, we need to do all this stuff to our website. So if we had identified that earlier, that would have been a huge relief for us.
Okay.
I like B. Just built-in controls, configuration managed tooling, implementation guidance resources, view of third-party audit reports. That's just... looks like I feel safe. Like I think I'm okay here. So that one caught it. That one won.
I like 2A there just because they told me that it was industry leading. So I mean, in terms of like comparative analysis, then they're telling me it's more than the other. But sometimes everyone leads the industry. But at the same time, that was a convincing statement. So.
And really only 1 person liking any of the statements under 3, saying one was compelling. Who was...
Well, I said leveraging sensitive data, because if we have the financial data in the cloud, and we actually had a breach with a different company. They were taking money from we were paying a vendor, but they're intercepting and going to a different, like putting in their own bank account. So, yeah. So that, I mean, that's important for us to have that sort of security.
Yep, definitely. And then anyone want to speak to the statements under number 4? A, 3 people said A was compelling.
Pretty
What do
standard,
you care?
high availability, DR and backup. That's, without that, we can't move forward. It has to be there.
Any other comments under the statements under number 4? And why you care about those?
I mean, yeah, precedent, DR, business continuity. I mean, it goes without saying that's your bread and butter. So, I mean, yeah.
So up here, when we were looking at the statements here, you guys were saying that they were important to you, but you kind of expected them, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounded like you guys just kind of expected these things. So once you got down to these sub-bullet statements, did you see anything that was a differentiator there, or no? Because it sounded like these were not. They were kind of expectations. What about when you got down to this lower level? Did you see anything that was really
I guess the
differentiating?
compliance offerings that were stated here, I don't really see that talked about a lot. Reading marketing materials for cloud. But,
Yeah, it really sounds like they try to help you stay on top of it as opposed to having to figure it out yourself.
Okay, great. So what is this theme? So our last theme.
Compliance.
Yes, security
So
compliance.
compliance.
Yeah, totally.
Risk management.
Yep.
right.
Risk avoidance or risk
Audit.
proactively avoiding risk.
Any other things that this is talking about? Any other themes or ideas that are reflected here in R?
Data security.
Data security.
Regulatory. Yeah, I mean, we already have compliance. So.
So let's say you get all this stuff that's being talked about in R. What is all this going to give you? Like, what's the ultimate benefit for you?
Sense of security, just, sleep better at night, I guess.
Big brothers,
Insurance.
Big Brother's watching.
So you said some assurance.
Yeah, insurance, like with high availability, disaster recovery.
I mean, this is something maybe I'd pay a little bit more for if it's going to prevent me, just like an insurance policy on anything, from running into any of these bad situations that could happen through, issues of data security, compliance, and risk.
Okay. So what if I told you that the theme here, theme R, is trusted? Does that line up with what we're talking about?
I would say so.
Yes.
Yeah, it's consistent. I mean,
Trusted, yeah.
What does that mean to you if this is called trusted? What does that mean?
other people are using it.
It means like not failing, I guess. So.
Okay.
I think it doesn't. I mean, I don't know. Like, I think it is. Yeah, it is trusted. But yeah, when I hear trusted, to me again, that all that means is like someone's using it. Like, it's someone else is paying for it. But this kind of felt like it went a little bit beyond that. Like, this is maybe kind of like watching out for me, or is kind of like again like getting a security camera out of the way, right? Like, you're taking a proactive step to ensure that you're safe.
Yeah, you're taking like preventative measures, but you can detect. So I feel like this is like another flavor of like Sarbanes-Oxley again, you know, from a data perspective. So yeah.
Okay. So you threw out some ideas. Now that I've told you trusted, is there a better way of describing this than trusted? Is there, if they're going to talk about this, should they call it something else?
Proactive security, proactive risk management.
Peace of mind.
Peace of mind. Okay. So,
Guarded? I'm gonna say guarded? No, not guarded. Never mind. Keep going.
no, do you have a...
Yeah, like guarded, like, lockdown, we're good. Secured.
Guarding you from lawsuits.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Those can be bad. Those can be really bad.
Okay. So I have a sheet here for you where, we've shown you the 4 themes. I've put our names for the themes with the letter now. And so what I want to do is find out how you feel about these 4 themes. You might call it something else, and that's totally fine. But I want to find out whether these themes really matter to you when choosing a cloud provider or not. So you might tell me, who cares? This isn't important to me at all, or it's table stakes. I expect this. It could be something that you really like, but it's not going to differentiate a cloud vendor. A couple of them can do it, or it can be a true differentiator, a wow. And so if you can just write the letter or the name of that theme and wherever it should go, whichever box it should go into. Okay, you guys still working on that? All right, let's start with open. Anyone put it in the who cares box? Okay, one person did. What about the table stakes box? Nobody? Oh, one person did.
Yeah, I did too, sorry.
2 people. What about the like it box? But okay. And then anyone? So someone said it was a wow. We have one person left.
Yeah, I did.
A wow. Okay. And then what about trusted? Anyone put that in the who cares? Nope. The table stakes.
I did.
So 2. The like it, but okay, 3. And then someone put that as a wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I did both. It's only because of the compliance aspect of it. I said that was a wow for me.
Okay. And you put it in the wow.
Yeah, sorry, I don't.
Okay. So
Something in there.
not sure what I had you down as. So
I voted on like and wow.
Oh, okay, okay. So that all makes sense. Okay. Oh, no, there. Okay, great. And then ideas into solutions faster. Who cares on that one? Nope. Table stakes? Nope. Like it, but not a wow. So 4. And then a differentiator. 2 people. Okay. And then the hybrid. So who cares? 3 people. Table stakes. 1. Like it, but not a wow. And then a wow.
I put it on wow.
Okay. So I'm missing.
I'm on the like.
You're on the like. Okay. All right. So the ones that got the most wows are the trusted and the ideas into solutions faster. So let's start with that ideas into solutions faster. Like, why is that one potentially a wow?
I mean, I thought that ideas into solutions faster is kind of a wow, potentially, because like if done right, would be really helpful if you don't have to choose what software to use and choose what frameworks to use. And, if you could just go to one place and get everything from the code to the framework you're using to the system you're deploying on it. But then again, you're entirely dependent on that one vendor, which makes me nervous. But
Yeah, I mean, it's a good selling point, and to leverage our as well. So to a business, if you go to a customer and say, we can build your app your functionality.
6 months, yeah.
Yeah, for 6 months to 6 days, boy, you're going to get their attention. So yeah, but then again, if it's true, yeah.
Okay. And are there some key things that need to be said about ideas into solutions faster to make that a wow? Like, are there some key things that you heard that made you put it in that bucket of being a wow?
I think it said the developers didn't have to really worry about their environment. They could just start coding and not worry about whatever the scalability or the performance of it or whatever it may
Trusted
be.
source, yeah.
Yeah. So for us, we always have the things we have a beta, and then the next thing you know, we can get this out in 2 weeks or so. So faster deployment's an important thing for us.
Okay, great. And then trusted, 2 of you guys said it was a wow, and 3 liked it. So why was this one a wow for a couple of you guys?
It was a wow for me because of the compliance lookout. Our applications weren't impacted by the European regulation.
GDPR.
Yeah, the GDPR. But I have colleagues that work for Tribune and some other major media outlets that were severely impacted by that, and we have our own financial compliance issues to worry about. So I think that for somebody to offer that would be wow if they could do that.
Any other comments on this trusted, about what absolutely has to be said in order to make that one a differentiator?
I really like the application testing, scanning, and API security features because I feel like that's something that companies reach out to third-party companies for sometimes, that specialize in that kind of thing, and they actually pay for that separately. So if that was built in, that would be a great piece.
Okay. And then anyone want to make the case for why open could be a wow or a differentiator? Somebody put, was it?
I put a wow just because, if you can develop on any sort of code and just not worry about where it's being deployed and have it run seamlessly, then, that'd be a nice thing too. So that's the reason why I did.
And then somebody put hybrid as a wow.
I like that one. Just because, it's not being offered by anybody else. AWS, they don't have a, private cloud. It's only Azure, only Microsoft does it. So,
It is kind of does.
Yeah. Well,
They're getting into it. It's
So the last thing I'd like to find out is whether which vendors, which cloud providers can truly say these things or can truly own these different themes. So is there a cloud provider, and we're talking about AWS, Google Cloud, IBM Cloud, Azure. Is there a cloud provider that can really say they're open, that really kind of owns that idea of being open?
Azure is pretty open.
I'd say that Azure, Google, and AWS can fight each other all day on this one, but no one's going to come out ahead.
It's still evolving.
pretty much even on that one. Yeah, it's an even battlefield.
And so why were you saying Azure was open? What makes you feel that way about
Well, I know that Microsoft is open, and I feel like they also encourage people to also contribute to the open source community as well as they've done it themselves. I didn't put that in a wow for myself because I know that our company is not at all interested in providing open source solutions for anybody. So it's but I think that Azure has really worked on their reputation for being contributors and flag bearers for open source development.
I think they want to take the temperature of the community, see how it's going to go over before they go all in or commit. And it seems to be somewhat accepted, but it's a very slow process. I mean, we're not going to kick those turnover code. No, it's just no. So, but I think they're They're good. I mean, they're getting there. It's getting embraced.
Okay. And then some of you said, they could all try to argue this one all day long. They're all kind of the same. So kind of mixed feelings on that one as far as whether anyone owns that.
Yeah, I kind of think about with Google. I mean, again, look at all the sheer amount of very important and heavy tools they've put out that are really widely in use. Again, going just Kubernetes and Android. I mean, those are two things that a lot of devices in this world run on now, and they're both open source from Google, and both tie into GCP pretty heavily. So, again, I feel like even if AWS were to come out with something, just hitting that volume for anybody would be hard because everyone's got a lot of volume already.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The next one is trusted. You guys called that, I want to say compliance, and you had a couple other words for that, but whatever you want to call it. Is there a cloud provider that can truly say that truly kind of owns that idea of being trusted?
Yeah, I can't think of it.
No?
For us, I think Azure works pretty well for being trusted.
I can't complain. I can't complain with Azure.
Yeah. I mean, they'll say something like secure. They'll use that adjective over and over again, but it's sort of subjective in a way. But
I mean, AWS is IAM provisioning stuff's pretty close to what Azure offers, I'd say. So, I mean, again, I like them both. I don't think they're that different, really, at the end of the day.
Okay. So a mix of nobody and AWS and Azure. The Azure, why would that be trusted? Why do you say they could own it?
Well, for what they provide for the failover replication. Actually, I wish all of our databases were in Azure right now, actually, but we have still on-premise too. But for those reasons, it's a lot easier than having another, we have a DBA that handles the on-premise stuff, but we're in Azure. We have databases in there that he doesn't even touch, and I know that they're pretty reliable.
Mm-hmm. And then anything to add on AWS as far as why you think they're trusted?
I mean, I like that they have a bunch of service offerings and products as well, too, around this field. So, for example, they have Cognito and Cognito Sync, and those integrate nicely into their IAM system, so they encourage you to get your end users provisioned safely. And, just that is pretty deeply rooted in some of their services, and then their other services also use Cognito for obtaining their own keys. So the kind of full closed loop security part I like, but again, I feel like that exists currently on every big platform out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Azure does pretty well in giving you recommendations on how to lock down your stuff too. They have tools that can help you do that, but as far as the compliance stuff that they talked about in the ad that I was really excited about, I don't know if anyone
So I'm not sure if anyone's doing that.
is doing that.
What about this ideas into solutions faster? Is there a vendor who can, or cloud provider that can say that and really kind of own that category or that theme?
Azure was so simple to deploy to that it was just seamless.
I mean, for me, I kind of say, again, this really depends on what you're trying to do, because if you're trying to build a mobile app,
Exactly.
I would say for me, I just out of the maybe 15 mobile app technologies I've worked with, I don't like Xamarin personally. I think it's a great tool. It has a really great use case and does things well. But I think that there are other better options. So if you're looking to use those other options, then now nothing that Azure offers was going to be useful because that's all outside of Azure. I think that's kind of where this one breaks down for the differentiator, because again, if you're on IoT, I feel like AWS has tons of really great IoT offerings plus documentation, community support. There, so again, that this idea isn't faster. I think it really depends on what idea you're trying to turn into a real thing.
I mean, they all have their strengths and weaknesses. So, yeah, and maybe I think right now they're kind of jockeying for how there's some new service can complement an existing product line or service they have, and they use as a selling point. So that's what we hear from our RM, so we deal with some. But
Yep. And then how about this last one, the hybrid? You guys had some other names for that one too. Is there a vendor who can say they're truly hybrid or they can really own that theme?
Azure offers hybrid.
Again, Azure, yep.
Right? And why can they say that? What about Azure? What are they doing or saying?
Well, they're saying the integration with Active Directory. So, yeah.
Anyone want to say another cloud provider for hybrid, or that's it? Okay. So I'm going to check for questions. If you guys can take all your papers and kind of shove them up in your little name card temp thing, I'll see if there are any last questions, and I'll get you guys out of here.
That right, nice. That's what you want. This is actually fun.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Next, you gotta take down Amazon tonight. You gotta take AWS. You can see it now. My kids are trying to buy their Christmas card. I'm like, yes, he did it exactly. They can't. Service denied. I can see it now exactly. So yes.
Always worried about when that's done.
I've gotten so many of those free trial AWS cards.
Okay, thanks guys. You did a great job. Thank you so much for really thinking everything through. I really appreciate it. So hope you guys have a great night. Thanks a lot. I love having a smart lady in my group. It doesn't happen very often.
It's terrible.
I know, it is, but glad you came.
Yeah, definitely. Good again.
See you then. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Have a great night.
Just about it.